Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome to the Unconventional Homestead. Today, we're making something I've never made before, stuffed pork chops. So we're just using stuffing mix. I'm gonna add a little bit of diced apple because apple and pork go really well together. So I'm just gonna peel this, dice it up, and put it in with the stuffing mix. And then we're taking, I'll lift it, who cares? Pork chops, pretty thick. These are Iowa cut pork chops. I will cut it. I did one already. And stuff it. So I'm waiting for my butter and bacon fat to melt on the stove. I'll add in I freeze dried. I went and washed my hands. I freeze dried chicken broth. It was organic chicken broth just this last week. And so I mixed it, I reconstituted it to put in as the liquid for my stuffing mix. So let's go over to the stove top. I have the butter and the bacon fat. I'm going to find my scissors. I have 3 pairs and I can find one, so we're in business now. Okay, just making sure that I didn't burn it, and I didn't. Just has flecks of the bacon in it. I'm gonna let it sit on the heat for a little bit because I'm gonna peel that apple, dice it, and we'll come back. So I've peeled the apple. I love this T peeler or a Y peeler, they call it different. I just feel that I can really get around it much faster. This is new to me this year. I love it. I saw somebody on another YouTube channel use it. I like that it's smaller wedges. I have one, an older Pampered Chef one. And, okay, so you start it and then you put the base on it and it kind of pushes them all up, which is awesome. So you can get the core out and all of the slices. And they're much thinner than the one that I had before. And then I'm probably gonna cut each slice in half. And I wanna get this apple in the stuffing heating up. So sometimes when I'm doing things, I'll cheat and put part of it in to get that started. I'm gonna take it off the heat because it only was supposed to take 5 minutes for that stuffing. But I keep that on hand in both chicken and turkey flavor because there's several casseroles I make with it, and they come together pretty quickly. So my mom was hungry for pork chops, and she got these thick ones on sale this, I think last week. She put them in the freezer for 99 cents each for one pork chop. And so we are going to take them as an extra meal when we deliver tomorrow to some of our peeps, as we call them. And since Mom is doing the meal this week, I thought I can get these ready and have them for them. So I'm just gonna put all of these apples in there. And I'm thinking I'll have extra stuffing, but that'll be okay. We can freeze it to give just singly to somebody sometime. But boy, this is already coming together, which is perfect. Smells good. Now you could have put a little applesauce or apple juice in there to flavor it as well. Kind of needs to just get creative. But while that's on the stove, I want to get the pork chops ready. So the other thing is that I had some in the freezer and I thawed them and they were thinner. So I decided I'm going to put 2 of them together to make one. And then I have one that I'll just make a half of one with. So I need to slice the rest of these. Fairly easy. I just don't want to cut it too far. So that one's done, that one's done. That's a 2. And I did want to make sure that I kind of paper toweled them off. Dried them because I am going to put our steak seasoning on it. Anthony and I really like this. I think the last time I used it in a video, I said I had been introduced to it from Costco, but now Costco doesn't carry it. I have a Sam's Club membership. I only go there for a few things. Excuse me. Chocolate chips for Mom. They have the big bags of Nestle chocolate chips, and that's what she likes. Peanut butter for her baking. And bacon bits. And then they have Jimmy Dean sausage in the 2-pound packs. Not nearly as good of a deal as it used to be. But that's what I get. But I went by their aisle and they had some of these, so I grabbed up a few. Because we like it on all of our meats. It's just a nice flavor that we like. Okay, I don't think I said, it's December 23rd and we're in Iowa and we had a little bit of snow and the blowing, and our temperature is like -11, -35 below. Obviously negative means below, with wind chill. That's not normal for us. And I did used to live in northern Minnesota and we would get that. But boy, I just don't have the clothing anymore for that, or it's just been a little crazy. So what I've done this past week is I have a Ninja grill, indoor-outdoor grill, and I've started using it out in our garage. We have our washer and dryer out there, so we do have heat. But we try not to keep it too warm. So I'm like, if I do that out there, that helps warm it up without having to use more heat out there. So I'm going to grill these out there. The other tip I'm going to give you is pull some of your toothpicks out so that you're not having to grab into the toothpicks with cross-contaminated hands. So we are going to open these up and stuff them, making sure that I have a few bits of the apple and trying to get it as full as I can, and then just taking one toothpick and going through there like that to hold it together. If there's some oozing, I think that'll be just fine. Again, making sure I have some of the apple. This one I might use 2. I guess it's going to depend on the pork chop and how full I have it. And then when I tell people, I'll make sure I let people know that there are toothpicks in there. Or I might pull them out before I package them up. We'll have to see how that is, but you play that by ear, but you always want to let people know if there's toothpicks in something. That stuffing is warm. The meat is cold, so it's interesting. Okay, I also am going to go back to that first one, and I am going to put 2 toothpicks, because then I don't have to remember how many toothpicks are in each one. Everyone will have 2. I don't use toothpicks very often, so I did have to go down in my stash in the basement and find where they were, that I found them. It's one of those things where you need them occasionally, but not all the time. And I knew I had some, and I did. And I even have some Christmas colored ones. But I didn't use those because I'm thinking they'll probably have this next week. They'll probably put it in their freezer and then take it out next week. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my hands and get a few more toothpicks out, and I'll bring you back. So here are the pork chops. I'm just going to lightly sprinkle on one side, and then I'll flip them over and season them on the other. There's a little half one. I think that actually might be a nice size for some people. To me, these big ones are too thick. Anthony and I, when we buy pork a lot, but we buy pastured pork, we buy butterflied. So that means they're already cut in half and they're beautiful. So the grill's warming up. I'll bring you out there with us when we grill them up. So I'm outside. I have all of the pork chops, or I'm not outside. I'm in the garage. Feels like I'm outside. Although today it's really cold. So this is how I use my Ninja grill. I have a high top table. So I just then push it back over to the side here. I used to have a board that I used on top of my chest freezer, but it was just hard because whenever the board was there, the grill was there, I had to move it because I always needed something in the middle of it. So when I'm grilling, I always preheat it to the hot temperature. This is from Brad, our farmer down at the farmer's market. And then I will turn it to medium, and that way it won't heat that entire time. I'm gonna try these for 10 minutes. I will flip after 6 because I'm used to cooking our butterfly pork chops. I'll start there and I can always do it a little bit longer. I don't babysit these. I'll go inside because it is quite chilly out here. But I set the alarm timer on my microwave so that I come back out in the amount of time. So I will bring you back as soon as this is preheated. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the grill to medium. I do have the grill insert in here. And I'm gonna try to arrange them so that I can get 4 in at a time. And I think that'll be definitely possible. You know what? I am gonna switch to this one. Then I have 4 of the big ones in at the same time. Okay, I will bring you back. They look beautiful. So I'm just gonna flip them so we get that pretty color on the other side. The stuffing is staying in. And I think 10 minutes is gonna be perfect. They look amazing. Look at that. Marks on both sides. And the smell, I can smell that apple. I think that was just perfect amount of stuffing inside each. So in doing the next batch, because I have, well, 3.5, I am gonna warm up the grill again. Now it says to add the food, so I will take it down and I will put these on. So 10 minutes for those big, thick pork chops. And this is essentially the same thing, just 2 separate. But I'll come and turn it at 6 minutes. And we'll let them cool before we wrap them up in tin foil. So I'm flipping these. Still smells really good. Beautiful. When I am grilling out here, I always keep pot holders in case I have to grab something. I have extra paper towels really close. So you just want, if you're in a different situation, if you're outside or in a different locale, you just want to make sure you have the tools that you need to get the job done. So I'll bring you back when they're completely done, and I think it's a winner. So also I packed up the remaining stuffing because this is about half of the package. So I'm gonna freeze it and I'll have it for another time that I can make stuffed pork chops, or I could use it as a side for somebody if I needed it, but it'll freeze just fine when I bring it out. If I have to add a little water or broth to it, just to pick it up a little bit, it'll be great. So these are almost done, and I'll show you what we got. You do always want to check and make sure pork is fully cooked. I have checked these. It is. They look amazing. So we filled 7.5 pork chops with about a half a box of stuffing, just so you know when you try to make these yourself. These will freeze great, reheat great. Oh, so I hope you'll give this recipe a try. Let me know if you normally grill pork chops. And I hope you have an opportunity sometime to try Iowa pork chops. They're amazing. I hope you'll like, comment, share, and until next time, preserve your food.